Angry MGTOW here! What the fuck was up with that voice? I don't know sometimes. Today we're discussing why white women will never admit to the suffering of men. This is a response to Being Sarah. Being Sarah. Yeah. So we're going to be watching a video by a woman named Being Sarah, and she actually discusses MGTOW in this video. That's one of the topics that she brings up. So we're going to look at it, and we're going to see what she has to say. Personally, I don't think much of what she has to say, but we're going to jump into it, and this is her response, her MGTOW response: misogynistic and very angry men. So, I'm not telling you guys to go and troll her channel. I'm not telling you guys to go and harass her. Not telling you guys to do any of that. We're going to go ahead and watch her video. Yeah.
Kind of little misunderstanding. Hi everybody, it's the 29th of January 2017, and this is a video in response to my previous video that I just made. There seems to be some kind of little misunderstandings, and that's okay because I didn't expect you to understand what I was trying to say, so that's completely okay. I didn't appreciate being called names because that's not a way you have a discussion. You don't go into a discussion being instantly abusive.
You don't go into discussion being instantly abusive. It's very interesting that she says that. You don't go into a discussion being instantly abusive. So you would think that she would actually stick to her own words. I mean, if she says that you don't go into a discussion being instantly abusive, you'd think that a woman would naturally stick to that. But no, she doesn't mean that for herself. Of course not. She actually just means that for men, because that's what women do. Women like to basically order men around and have men act as knights. Here's a comment that Being Sarah left on this very video that we're reviewing right now, where someone responded to her and she said, "What you describe there isn't being a MGTOW, it's being a fucking dickhead. You see a cocksucker idiot." And this is Being Sarah. You can even see that it's definitely her because it even has the whole blue outline to highlight the fact that, oh, it's her. So she left this to a MGTOW on her channel who just left her a comment. Essentially, someone saying that they're choosing to go their own way. She basically said that's, and not have anything to do with women. That's not being a MGTOW. That's just being a fucking dickhead. And then she calls him a cocksucker. But in the same video as you're watching now, she says this is not the way you start a discussion by calling someone names. Oh, so big. Don't you guys just love when you call out someone's bullshit and you have the exact proof? You have the proof right in front of you. I just love it. I just fucking love it. Let's go back. Let's jump back into the video.
That's not, whether you're speaking to a man, woman, whatever, you don't go into an argument or a discussion speaking like you're a 12-year-old boy. And it kind of bothered me why you're so angry. And you say you've had, men have had this hard deal with women and all the rest of it, and they get the bum end of the stick and all the rest of it. It's not really the case. I mean, I've done a lot of Googling and I've read a lot of, the statistics on domestic violence and rape and, why women initiate divorce and all the rest of it. And majority of the time, it's not because they want money.
So she's read all the statistics on domestic violence, rape, and somehow she missed over the statistics where men make up the vast majority of all homeless. They account for over 90% of all the on-job deaths. They will lose their children in courts over 80% of the time. The list just goes on and on. In Britain, boys have a significantly higher mortality rate than girls. So even though more boys are born in the UK than girls every year, more will die during childhood, and as a result, there's a surplus of little girls every year. Men will get prison sentences that are anywhere from 6 to 16 times longer in both the U.S. and the U.K. The list goes on and on. Men have to sign up for the draft. Women do not, but women still get the right to vote. There are various programs that are exclusive for women. When it comes to women's health you receive something like 5 times or more the funding that men's health receives. Women make 85% of all consumer purchases, while men pay 85% of all income taxes. Somehow she missed over all of this. In domestic violence situations, women are more likely to kill their husbands, kill their male spouses, their boyfriends, than men are likely to kill women. Women are more likely to be the aggressor in a domestic instance. They're more likely to actually hit a male in a relationship than a man is likely to hit a woman. That's not a factor that they like to consider either. So they're more likely to attack a male, and they're also more likely to kill a partner. Women have a higher percentage rate of killing a partner in relationships, marriage, dating, whatever you want to call it. But women have it so bad, and what are men really complaining about? And when it comes to divorce, women have good reasons for divorce. It's not that they want to divorce, but they're just reasons why they have to get the divorce. Because, you guys were just not pulling your weight around the house, or they just didn't feel comfortable and safe anymore, which is something that you have to understand happens. And maybe if you had worked harder in the relationship, things would have been different. What a narcissistic woman this is. And you can look at, she looks like she's in her 50s, to be very honest. Could be 50s or 60s. And she's here making this video attacking men and basically saying men have no problems, or domestic violence and other statistics, that's the only thing that ever matters. Nothing that happens in the lives of men, health, anything, none of this shit, none of that matters. Men making up to 85% of all homeless people in the US. 70 to 85% of all homeless people are men. And like almost half of those are veterans. You've got 44% of all homeless men are veterans, I believe. You guys have to be kidding me. What a sickening thing this is. She essentially is saying that there is no problems of men. And why would you expect any woman to actually come forward and admit to men having problems? And then call out female privilege. It's something that I spoke to Roaming Millennial about, where she admitted that she doesn't call out female privilege. And and there's a lot of things that have to go. But here you have a woman flat out denying the things that are happening to men. This is the perfect reason why men are going their own way. And then on top of it, she tries to define what a MGTOW is to a MGTOW, as you saw in the message earlier, when it did not fit her narrow, broad-minded self. She is downright ridiculous. What an evil person.
From their asshole eggs, it's because they have been abused or they've been cheated on. So then,
women initiated divorce because they've been abused or because they've been cheated on in all cases or most cases. Oh, now that makes sense. What a piece of work she is.
the marriage obviously will break down and the women will go for what they can get, which is natural, which is what should happen. If you get cheated on, you're going to want to split up. You're not going to stay with that adulterer. And then obviously if they've got kids, then the father will have to pay for the children. If for some reason the mother stops the father from seeing the children, that is wrong. I don't agree with
If they have kids, then obviously the father will have to pay for the children. So she immediately assumes that the children should go to the mother, right? Because the father is always wrong. My gosh, and they say there's no such thing as sexism and misandry. This woman makes the perfect case for misandry and completely being absent minded on men's issues and male suffering. Hence why we go our own way.
That at all, unless there's some major reasons why the woman feels the children would be in danger, then the father should obviously see the children. As far as the women who accuse men of rape, that is also disgusting. If they're completely innocent, then the woman obviously should be punished. See, I'm not completely on the woman's side here. I want to learn more. And by learning more, it's not by calling me names, it's just going to make me think you're a bunch of misogynistic, angry whatevers.
It's just gonna make her think that we're a bunch of angry, misogynistic whatevers. Her response to MGTOW, if we call her names, but when we tell her what MGTOW is, when we give her the definition of MGTOW and it doesn't suit her purpose, we end up with we end up getting a message from her that says, let's just have a look at that message again, just for the sake, because since she's going there, I'm going to go back there again. What you describe there isn't being a MGTOW, it's being a fucking dickhead. See ya, cocksucker, idiot. So she's calling this guy a name for giving her response, discussing what MGTOW is. And then she is talking about, again, addressing why you should not call a woman names and how unproductive it is to call a woman or a man names. And then here she is attacking us. Here she is in the comments of this very video. After making this video, she calls a MGTOW a fucking dickhead and a cocksucker because she doesn't like his definition of MGTOW. Do you see how badly these women behave? Do you see the crap that we have to put up with as men and the hypocrisy in the things that they do? She posted this. She posted this on YouTube 19 hours ago. Tuh.
And there's so much hate towards women, and I say there was so much hate. There was hate, and then there were some blokes that would, who commented, and they were genuinely decent and explaining things to me. But going in full fire and just calling me names is just ridiculous. It's vile, and there was absolutely no need for it. But my point of my whole previous video was basically that I just didn't understand why men were particularly just going for people with money or women with money, cars, all the rest of it, just like financially stable. And it's obviously because men don't want to be financing a woman, which I suppose it's like the same thing as like in the 50s when the woman was expected to stay at home and do the cleaning and raise the kids, and the men went out to work. The woman, and I spoke to a lady today. She was 80, and she said in 1950, we weren't even talking about this subject, but she was saying in 1958 she moved away with her husband, and they opened a joint bank account, and at the time the bank, the manager or whatever it was really confused as to why the man would want a joint bank account with his wife. Anyway, and he actually had the man had to actually sign something to say that this woman was allowed to draw money out the bank. And that at that period of time was so obscure. And
you see, back in the old days, look at how her eyes just pop out. I got a great frame. back in those days, back in the old days, when men were men, they realized that you don't leave a woman in charge of the finances, because if you do, she will spend frivolously. There was an episode of I Love Lucy. I don't know if you guys remember a series called I Love Lucy, but it was pretty popular here in the U.S. It's a very old show, and there was an episode of I Love Lucy where they hired an accountant, and Lucy basically was spending outside and living outside of her means. So she tried to pull one over on the accountant who set up a thing at the grocery store so that she could buy food, and then basically she started buying exponential amounts of food for other women, selling them for a profit, and then basically the accountant would end up having to flip the bill. And it's kind of funny because when you think about just how women operate, even back then in those days, people knew that you did not give women direct access to the income, because they would go wild and spend frivolously. And who's going to hold them accountable? It was always a husband who had to hold a wife accountable. He was in charge. You're the husband. You're in charge of the wife. I mean, that's how society acted. If you go forward today, women are not held accountable for anything they do. Murder, criminal, killing children. They're not held accountable. And you know what's funny? Whenever a woman commits a crime, whenever a woman hurts a child, whenever a woman does these things, you know what they say? Where was the father? Suddenly, the child has a father. When the woman does something bad, they say, so, after she kicks him out of the house, after she gets rid of him, destroys his life, has him thrown in prison for missing child support payments, when she does something very bad and goes before a judge, the judge says, where was the father? Because this woman had all this responsibility on her, raising these children all by herself. And they act like it was her fault, like it was his fault. They immediately started attacking this man, not even knowing what he went through. It's no wonder so many MGTOWs have no sympathy for women. It's no wonder so many MGTOWs, hate the idea. When I started saying, I was questioning the MGTOW monk lifestyle, I get it why you guys say that. Because these women can't be trusted. You can't trust them at all. And they have no heart, no sympathy, no kindness inside of them. I mean, this is how the typical woman is. Look at how she speaks about men. Look at how unempathetic she is towards men. Just listen to the way she talks, and you can realize that she means us no good. And this is the typical American woman that men have to deal with. It's just downright ridiculous. And I don't expect it to change anytime soon.
Just not heard of, because women were basically made to stay at home and do the womanly thing. But times change, and as time has evolved, it has been men are providers and women also provide, and it's like 50-50, which is perfect. Women are supposed to, unless they've got like the 3 kids and they're at home and they can't actually go to work, then they're meant to be staying at home and raising a family and doing the wifey things. And as soon as the kids go back to school, then they get a job and they contribute that way. So it's just, it frustrates me that the way of thinking is so tunnel vision, and it's so much hate towards women. And what it also just angered me is that I was a victim of domestic abuse, and there was...
Oh, really? You were? Did your husband cough in your direction, and somehow that cough caused you to sustain life-threatening injuries? Just asking.
Somebody that commented that it was obviously because I had done something to deserve the beatings that I used to receive from him. It must have been my fault. It was my fault why I was treated like that. And that couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, I have a letter that my husband wrote to me when he picked up his final lot of clothes, and it actually says, "You have been the perfect wife. I have just been a complete shit to you, and you haven't deserved any of it. I'm so sorry." And that is what I got when he left. So he knew what he was just a horrible person. He was just a violent, abusive person. And no, it wasn't because he was raised by a violent mother or raised in a violent family. It wasn't like that. He was just
No, it sounds like you brought it out of him. Because she sounds like a very unempathetic, narcissistic, materialistic individual who sees nothing but her own personal needs, makes no compromises in marriage, and then when bad things happen, says that it's everyone else's fault but her own. Yeah, typical Western woman.
a mean person. And to say that I deserved it's just sick. So women deserve the beatings, but men don't deserve the beatings. Is that right? I don't know. I don't know how your whole thought process works. It just seems a bit jumbled to me. But what I think is just, you men just stay, you know, on your own, do your own thing, which is perfect, because we will never cross paths. We will never ever cross paths, which is good, because I don't want to be involved in all that. It's just horrendous. It's just too angry. You're just too angry, and angry people just waste so much time being angry at people. And I think that after this video, I won't be making any more videos about this subject unless something props up. But the whole feminist thing is just, there's so much talk about the feminism, and I honestly don't know much about feminism, and I'm not a feminist. And all I know is that all I know about feminists is that they're strong women, and I think maybe that you men are a little bit scared of strong women. And
Feminists are just strong women, and we're scared of strong women. This woman is completely blind to the craziness that feminism has done, the division feminism has created in society. And you know what? When things go to hell, when shit hits the fan, it'll be women like her that are demanding men to help them, expecting men to help them, saying it's the male's job to fix the problems that they caused because we're the ones who created everything bad in the world, every problem in the world. And there will be a resounding silence, and it will be women like her that will find themselves essentially in those FEMA camps that I described for homeless women who have nowhere to go when they run out of options, because there will be no more social entitlements. These social entitlements are drying up in the US, and trust me, they are going to dry up in the UK as well, as more men drop out of society and the government pulls back on these programs.
which, I'm clearly not a feminist. I'm not a strong woman at all.
She's clearly not a feminist. She's clearly not a strong woman at all. My oh my.
And I live happily on my own and not want a man by my side and keeping me. Yeah, so I think if we just never cross paths and we never speak, it's absolutely fine, and we don't need to be mean to each other. We don't need to generalise. It's like me going, because I was abused, that all men are going to abuse me, or all men are going to cheat on me, or all men are going to steal from me, or all men are going to rape me. It's just, no, not all men are like that. And I think when you say all women are going to be like that, it's all women are going to gold diggers, all women are going to do whatever. It's just so stupid. Anyway, this is my video for today, and I'm debating whether to keep the comments on or off. I'll think about it while this is uploading. But anyway, thank you for all the hate of my previous video. I really appreciated it. And now I've got to move because I've got bad lists. Okay, see you later, bye.
And there you have it, guys. We are going to continue to see this level of narcissism from women. Many of them will never get it. Many of them will never own up. And like I said, many will stop describing themselves as feminists. She'll describe herself as a feminist. Notice she's not brave enough, she's not daring enough to describe herself as a feminist, even though she has all the same feminist beliefs and feminist ideals. I pointed out that feminism will die, but the legacy of feminism will live on. It will live on, and women will regret the very legacy of feminism that they helped to push forward, and the agenda of feminism that they helped to push forward. That is the future that we are looking towards. Just want to remind you guys that I make 3 videos a day plus bonus videos, so please consider becoming a Patreon by going over to my YouTube homepage or looking for the Patreon link in the description of this video. And when you click on my Patreon link, you can donate, become a regular contributor to my work. You can donate from anywhere from $5 or more per month, but it will really ensure I can continue to make quality content for you guys. If you enjoy these videos, please become a Patreon because it will make a big difference. Also, never miss another notification from my channel by clicking on the notification button, which is next to the subscribe button below any video. And when you click on it, you'll get a pop-up that says send me all notifications for this channel. Just make sure that you check the little box. Hit save. If you've already done it, you don't have to do it again. And by doing so, you will always receive any notifications when I'm streaming or whenever I put out a new video. So guys, let me know if you agree that white women will never admit to the suffering of men, and at the end of the day, men are just going to simply say, we've had enough, we've dealt with enough of the crap, and we are going our own way because we're not taking it anymore. Let me know if you think this is the perfect example of why men are just giving up on women entirely and saying all women are like that, because women are so blind to the suffering of men, to the pain of men, and they basically see themselves as perfect. This woman literally explained away men being screwed in divorce court and women divorcing men in mass droves, saying that they have their reasons because they were either cheating or abusive. Let me know what you think in the comment section. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you liked the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MGTOW or death. And cheers.